In the last section, I walked you through the backend, your WordPress backend. So now we are really going in for real business. So this is where our development truly starts. And I'm going to personally tag this as a part 2 of this course. So now we'll be building. So in this course, we'll be building. The whole course is scoped on is based focused on teaching you on how to develop a 5-page website, an average 5-page website. Not just an average, let me use the word, we have a professional 5-page website, an e-commerce website, a dropship website, a LMS website, and a blog website. So I believe if you can develop things like this, you are indeed a professional developer, because they all have different templates of how they are built. But first and foremost, we're going to be teaching you how to build a 5-page website. And I searched online for top website, and I noticed and I picked Apple websites. So we're building this kind of website. Though to some extent we might not be able to get the exact pictures they use, but the template will be like this. So we're building this kind of website. So first I will use the Apple website to explain you the frame of a website. Now a website has this kind of structure. These are the structures of a website. The website has the header, the heading, or the head, or the menu bar. Let me call it the menu bar. The website has the menu bar, and this place here is the menu bar where you have the menus. The website has the body, and that is from here, from the beginning of this whiteboard, this white banner, we having this image. This is an image. This is an image. So down to the footer. So where this from this gray part downward is the footer. Are you getting that? So the website mainly comprises of the header, the body, and the footer. Now inside the body, that's where we have the banner. This is the banner. This first screen we are having, this first image we are having is the banner. Then we have other components in it. Although this is a banner, but you notice that the structure of the website we have in our file now is, you notice that they all have a welcoming banner, very large, always welcoming. When you are looking for a service kind of website or a 5-page website, you always have a banner. The banner can be in the form of picture, can be in the form of video, can be other things, can be animations and other stuff. But yeah, Apple is using a picture for this banner. So this is a picture. Don't worry, you like how did you know it's a picture? I know it's a picture because it's also what I do, and I believe in a short time from now you begin to do the same thing. So that's the basic structure of the website: the header, the body, and the footer. That's just it. So there's what they call wireframe. Wireframe is a structure, is just like a rough drawing of how your website will look like. So I'll just search online. So you can just to get you some image website wireframe. Wireframe templates. Okay. So let me just pick one or two image. So this is what I'm trying to say. Can you see? This is a wireframe image having the head banner. Then we have other components in the website. This and that. And this is the part for the header. This is the sidebar. So that is okay. Can you see? So this is the website name, or the logo will be here, the banner, the call to action, the customer codes, the video, and the likes. So that is what a wireframe is. A wireframe is just a rough drawing of how your website will look like. So the Apple wireframe is just, if you're going to bring the picture we have here from this part downward, you will see that what we'll be having in this wireframe is a large banner, on that large banner, on that large banner, on that large banner, just in the order at which these ones were arranged. And those large banners will be fixed or filled with what? With images. So that's what the wireframe is. So sometimes to really get a stressless design, it's always advisable you plan your UI UX. UI UX is also known as your user interface and user experience. Your UI UX tells how beautiful the design of the website will look like and how easy it is for customers to navigate. It will be for customers or users to navigate around the website. Like for Apple, Apple has a simple classic UI UX. So the UX here is that the user experience. My experience with this website is very, very easy. Why? Because if I want to buy a MacBook, I can just easily come to this Mac part, tap the Mac, then I see the specifications they have. So it is easy for me to navigate around the website and get what I want easily without searching around. So that's UX. Now the UI is the user interface. Their user interface is so beautiful and so neat. You see the spacing they have in between the writing and the image, the spacing they have in between one image to the other image, the spacing they have between one write up to the other write up. And whenever you see this in turning blue rather, it means it is a link. Once I remove the cursor, it becomes an arrow. Once I take it back there, it becomes a finger. So whenever you see that, it means that that word has a link and it will link you to somewhere. So let's tap it. This is going to read and it's going to link you to this particular page here. Now, can you see this banner? This banner here is a video. Can you see? It's a video, and that's the beauty of having a wireframe. So you can plan what you want to do. Now they have. Let's examine the structure of this page. They have a video here that is not auto playing. They have write-ups here. They also have write-up. They also have another video. They have images, write-ups, animated write-ups. Can you see? So, but to some extent, this page is very classic, filled with picture and very little words. I also want you to understand that images speak. Pictures speaks a lot. So when you know how to use pictures to communicate, it will not really be necessary to write too many words. And for me, whenever I see a website filled with too many texts, I get bored easily. So I move out. So, and I prefer a website that has good diagrams, good graphics, and very little image, or graphic that is enough to tell me what that website is all about. So that is UI and UX working together. So now, one of the things you need to also understand is that for you to build a website, it's always advisable you have a template of the UI UX you want to build. You imagine what you want to build. Sometimes one of the issues so many web developers face is trying to get how their website will look like. You get it? They don't want to. You want to build a structure or a UI that is outdated. So, and that is why it's advisable you search or Google around top websites in the world, top UI UX websites in the world, gather the ideas together, then try to form your own. It's not a bad thing. You're just trying to get information and trying to update yourself on what is going on. And that's one of the things I do. I use people UI UX because I noticed to some extent I'm not too good at UI UX, but it's a course personally I want to learn. And once I'm done with the course, I'm going to be teaching it also, and it's be promising as well. So that is the truth about it. So if you don't know how to, because UI UX developers or designers is a course on its own. UI UX is a course on its own. They don't develop website, they only design the interface and the experience of that website from their design. And one of the software they use to design is called Adobe XD or Figma. So you can use that to design the interface and as well structure the user experience of the website. So for now, I'm a pure developer using WordPress, but still looking forward to going deep into UI UX. For now, I'm not a professional UI UX designer. So, but I've tried to find a way around it so that I won't be building terrible looking websites. And what I do is that I search around to get UI UX designs that are very very good, and I think and I try to bring in my own idea and replicate something beautiful, but not exactly the way they have done theirs, so that there will be a good difference. But the beauty and the classic nature will still be there. Okay. So now when we are talking about UI UX, though I'm not really a professional in UI UX, I know I can still tell you one or two things. You need to understand fonts and color. There is a course called color theory. So I, to some extent, I know a little about that, and I'm going to inform you about that. Sorry, I'm taking a little time, but I need to explain you that, because that is what qualifies you to really be a professional web developer. If your website is has a good experience but the design is terrible, people might just feel sick coming to your website. So color also speaks, like orange. Orange has the way it brings in orange. The simple expression orange brings in is happiness. So orange, whenever someone sees an orange item, something about that person smiles. You might not understand, you might say, oh, it doesn't happen to me, but that's just the truth. Color speaks. When you see black or when you see red, one of the signals is sent to you, to your brain, is danger. Are you getting that? So when you see blue, one of the signals it sends to you is sends relaxation. So you need to understand this. So when you are building a website that has to do with relaxation, that you are rendering a service that has to do with relaxation, you should be considering colors around blue, sky blue, royal blue. But please don't. I wouldn't really advise you to use navy blue, because navy blue is a deep sense of blue that sends another message compared to a normal blue. So just think around that. If you are trying to do a build an e-commerce site, one of the very good colors to use could be orange, could be yellow, and that's why you notice that Amazon has orange colors in their websites. Amazon has yellow color in their website. AliExpress has orange color in their website, and that is one thing you need to understand. And again, I also want you to understand that white and black are very good colors in developing websites. But whenever you are developing a website, consider the time, consider the level of light that will be reflecting from the person's PC, though it can be regulated. Because as at now, I'm looking at this particular website in the night, though where I am is very, very illuminated, but to some extent the white background is reflecting so much light into my retina, and I've been blinking my eyes. I've blinked my eyes for like how many times now? I can't really count. And the reason is because the white background is reflecting light. So you can consider building a website that is very, very good in the night. Are you getting that? That is very, very good in the night. That will be very, very active in the night. I'm not saying active as though it won't be functioning in the afternoon. No, I'm talking about considering the level of light that will be emitted. So when you are building a website, to some extent, white background could be very good if you are considering daytime. Your website will be used anytime, but you also need to consider some level of light reflection. So, and that depends on you. And one thing I noticed Apple did in their website is its high level of intelligence. They added white and they also added black. Are you getting that? So you notice that when it is night, when you look at the black background, your eyes feel relaxed because it's not trying to accommodate too many light anymore. But when you scroll into the white background, it's as though your retina, if you should check your eye lens, you notice that your lens will become smaller. You get it? But when you go to the black background, if you check your lens, you notice that your lens expands to accommodate what? Light. Sorry, to take in the moderate light. Okay, so that's one thing we also need to consider. You need to consider light reflection. So you can build it and consider the fact that, and I also want you to understand that quite a number of people use their gadgets, their PC. Quite a number of people use their PC in the night. So adding white and black color to your website will be very, very nice, so that as to balance the daytime and the nighttime. When you make it all black, you notice that when somebody is using your website during the day, the person might have to increase the screen of the light of his or her screen to be able to see. But if it is white, the person might not need to do that because it will be reflecting enough light. But if it is in the night and you make it black, it is obvious that your text obviously should be in white so that it can be seen very, very well. And again, another balancing we need to understand about color is that whenever you are using a dark color for your background, your text color must be a light color so that it can be seen. Please, we need to get this. You shouldn't use a black background and you are using a color that is close to black. The writings will not be seen. Are you getting that? So, okay, I think to some extent I've made one or two things clear. I'd like us to just dive into the building. So now we are using the UI UX of this Apple website. So their home page, we're building our home page in similitude to what they have here. We're building our home page. So I've gone online, I've tried to search one or two images that is similar to what we have here, and that's what we'll be working with, so as to get this same design. But the images might not be the same, but we are going to get the same kind of design. Now, if you now notice something, notice that the font they use is also the same font they use here. So it is not advisable you use more than 3 fonts in your website. When you use more than 3 fonts in your website, it becomes clumsy and it will affect the design of your website. I want you to take note of that. And if you notice what Apple did here, the main colors in their website are just white, black. This doesn't really even look like black. Pardon, I'm using the word black. It looks like dark gray. So this is black. This image here is black, but for the header it is dark gray. And they've reduced the opacity of this header. You can see the image to some extent showing from the background of this header. So they've reduced the opacity of this header. This menu bar. Okay, so you now notice that the 3 main colors they have here are black, white. So we can classify this also under black, but it's not black, but it's rhyming with this black here. So another color we have here also is blue, and blue is just signifying the link. It's just signifying the link. So they try to minimize the number of colors they use in the website. All these ones here are images. So these images, they were designed from the past with Photoshop. So they have their own color on their own, and they are standing independent compared to the background. So we know these are images, but when you are building, just make sure you stick to just 3 colors at maximum. 3 colors at maximum. Okay, I'm happy to give you this intro. It looked as if it's very long, but I think I needed to clear all this before we start designing, so we'll be running around and we'll be working with speed. Okay, so now let's go to our dashboard. Since we already have the home page structure, so I said earlier that we're building a 5-page website, and the 5-page website will be having the home page, the about us page, the service page, the blog page, and the contact page. So that's the 5 pages to be building. It's promised to be wow. Don't worry. At the end of this, you feel so fulfilled that wow. So I can do this, and that's the beauty of it. So now let's go to our dashboard. So I believe you've not forgotten your password, and if you've forgotten your password, just try to forget password, and they will send you a link to get back your password. But please just don't forget the password, so as to avoid that stress. So now I've walked you through your dashboard, so we just want to go into development. So one of the things you need to understand here is that you need to Let's load our site. Our site is not that beautiful for now. Good, this is what we have. But now I want to change this weird looking site to something like this. So this is how we start. So one of the first you need to do is that you need to change the appearance of your website. This is the appearance we have now. Very weird. But now we need to change the appearance of our website. Why we are going to change our appearance? For us to change our appearance, the appearance of the website, we'll go to themes. So when we go to themes, I have personally I've been using WordPress for if not up to 2 years now, and I've discovered two main themes. And the name of those themes are Astra and Ocean WP. Astra is a very wonderful theme used by millions of web developers who are using WordPress, and Ocean WP is also known as one of the best, if not the best theme in WordPress. It's a theme that helps you build very large sites. I mean, sites like Amazon. So we won't be using Astra because I want to take you through the highest part of this course so that when you are meeting the lower ones, you'll be able to chop them up into bits and work on them. So we're using all these ones here. All these ones are themes we don't need. So our present website is running. Can you see the color? Is running on this theme here. So this is the theme that's activated. But what we need to do now is that we are going to install a new theme and activate that theme and see what's going to happen to our website. So what you just need to do is you tap add new. So when you tap add new, just come to the search bar and you see Astra, because I've searched for Astra. They know me that I search for Astra very well. Ocean WP. Okay, write it together, Ocean WP. So it's one of the best theme out there. So this is it. So what you just need to do is that you install this theme. Please make sure you have an internet access. If you're also working on local, I said earlier on that you can't install a theme without having an internet access. When you install and activate it, you are free to turn off your internet access. But if you are working online, please, you need internet all through. So it's taking a little time to install. One of the reasons because it's a very large theme and very classic. So you can build another website and test. They have millions of themes there in WordPress. So you can test all those themes and see how you roll with them. Okay, so now it is installed. Let's activate it. So now that it's activated, let's now see the look of our website. Now you now see what theme does to your website. So let's see. Can you see it has changed the look of the website to a better, as in a more wonderful look compared to what we have before. So now the theme has changed the appearance of our website to a more classic appearance, but this is not where we are going to. We are going to what to achieve this. Are you getting that? So now that we already have this theme, this Ocean WP installed, what we need to do is that we don't need this one. What we just do is theme details, delete them. So we just need to have just one theme there. Though if you leave those ones, it doesn't have a problem, but somehow it might be slowing down your work because they're occupying space also. So just delete them all. We don't need them. So and this weird looking thing, just delete it. Okay, so now we just have only Ocean WP. Now one of the things Ocean WP will tell you to do is that things like Astra, Ocean WP, they will always advise you to install some plugins. I told you plugins are like apps, like website apps that gives you functionality, that gives you specific functionalities, that give your website specific functionalities. So now we are going to install this plugin so that just install plugins. So we don't start searching for plugins anyhow. So now the main plugin you need to install for Ocean WP is called Ocean Extra. So let's install this plugin. So once we install this plugin, then we will install other plugins again. So while you see installing, let me come to the home. So now for now, this is our default home page. Are you getting that? But we don't need this home page. We are going to change it. Okay, so it has installed that. So let's return back to dashboard. Okay, so now we are back at dashboard. Now it said, "Welcome to Ocean WP. Are you ready to create an amazing website?" Yes, we are ready to create an amazing website. Please don't skip this thing. Now let us run Setup Wizard. It's a way of fast tracking our work. So now Ocean WP. So just get started. When you get started, it's going to show you some things. Now select your demo template. Now the meaning of this is I'm not going to take you through this because I want to teach you how to build from scratch. Now the meaning of this is that this wonderful template, Astra, Ocean WP, and the likes. What they do is that they already have free templates that have been designed already. Now what you just need to do is that let's tap this on now live preview. Let's just take a live preview of this one and see how it looks like. Now they've built this site already. So what you just need to do, this is a full functioning website already. So all you just need to do here is that just select this. Once you select it and you click install demo. Now what's going to do is that it's going to install this whole website on your domain. So and once it installs all this website on your domain, the only thing you just need to do is that you just need to change the images and the writings, and that is all. Then you begin to manage it from your back end. That's the beauty of WordPress. But if I take you through this step, it's obvious you will struggle to create a website from scratch. But I believe I can take you through building a website from scratch. You might decide to begin to import templates all throughout your web development career. That's not a problem because I also import templates. But while you import templates rather all throughout your career, you notice that it will be easy for you to navigate through that template, change anything you want to change, design anything you want to design, and you will get a beautiful website. But that is always possible. That will be very possible and easy if you know how to build a website from scratch. So for now, we are not going to do that. So we are going to skip this process. I ain't choosing it. So let's just skip this process, skip this step. Let's go to the next step. We want to build things from scratch. So now it's trying to tell us to upload our logo, Retina logo. Now Retina logo is a logo that changes when the light composition or okay, let me just use this word. I was talking about light, white and black. Let's assume our website is white and the logo will place there blends with the white background, and the next page we have the next page we have is now black. So we need to install another logo that will blend with the black background, and that's what they call Retina logo. I get that. So it's a logo that changes with the color of the page. So for now, we're not going to put any logo because I'm going to teach you everything from a different angle. If I put it from here, that might make you a little bit lazy. So the site icon, that is the favicon. So I'm not going to put that. So these are the colors of the website we are going to be having. But nevertheless, we are going to work on that because we want to arrive at something like this. We want to arrive at something like that. So what we just need to do is just continue. So they want me to say get the extension bundle for free. Get the extension bundle for free. Input your email below to get chance to win. I don't need it. You can decide to input yours. I don't want to input mine. So let's view the site and see what they have for us. It will still be what we have here. So let's just refresh. Cool. So you see the blog we created is available now. But that's not what we are working towards. So now, since we are building a 5-page website, one of the first things we need to do now is that we need to install some plugins before we start creating page. The plugins that will help us to develop these pages. Now add new. So now we need Elementor. There is a plugin called Elementor. That's the plugin we'll be using to build our page. And that plugin, it has been used by 5 million plus people, and it has 5,000 plus review, and it has a review of nothing less than 4.5 review. It's a very wonderful plugin. So now let's install this. So we also have Elementor header and footer, but for now we are not going to be using that. So these are plugins. This is a plugin market. So just come and type what you need. So there are three main page builders. Elementor is a page builder, meaning that it helps you to build your page without writing any code, just dragging and dropping. So now it has installed. So let's just activate it. So we have Gutenberg, and we have Elementor, which is also a page builder. We have Beaver, if I'm not mistaken, and others. So now they are trying to tell us to create our first page. We don't want to create our first page now, or if you want to watch this guide to using Elementor, feel free to, but I'm going to take you through it in this course. So you can decide to watch it if you want to. You can just pause the video and go through it, perhaps get also see a different angle of Elementor compared to what I'm going to teach you. Okay, so just cancel this. So now that we've cancelled that, now we want to create our first page. So what you just need to do is this: you just come to pages, add new. Okay, so now we are going to, let's title this page as home. For Apple, they have their logo there. But let's title this page as home. So publish. Good. So now let's edit with Elementor. So it's loading already. It's going to take us to the Elementor page builder. Good. So now we are at Elementor already. Now one of the things we need to do is this. We need to come to the settings. Now come to page layout, tap it, make it Elementor full width. And the reason why you're going to make it Elementor full width so that it can stretch from one angle to the other angle. Now if you notice what happened, now let's go back again. It was in default before, right? You will notice we are having a search bar, a kind of blog kind of thing here. We don't need it. We want the website to stretch from end to end, because the modern monitor screen or laptop screen they are using is a rectangular shape. But if we leave it at the default, it will be having the screen size of those ancient monitors and laptops we have, that is square. You get it? So we are building a modern kind of website, and if you see that of Apple, you see that the banner is stretching from one end here, where the cursor is, to the other end. So that's why we're going to make it Elementor full width. So just come here and watch the change on the screen. You see this guy is going to run out. Okay, so now we already have a full width page. So what you just need to do is that you update. So every important change you make, you update. So now that we already have this, you notice something. We have one top bar. One thing OceanWP, what it does is that it gives us it has the ability of giving us two menu bars. I'm going to show you something. Let's go to Amazon. And that is why I prefer it to Astra. Though Astra is a very wonderful one. Amazon is a multi-vendor website. You see, there is a bar here, a top bar. This is a top bar. There's also another bar here. Can you see where you can register and do whatever you want to do? Let me cancel this. Let's go to AliExpress. Now you see there's a top bar here, and there's also another bar here. Can you see that? So that is what Ocean WPs give it to. We have a top bar here. We also have another bar below. So that's why I like it. So that I can always advance my site to becoming a multi-vendor site by adding a um a link for people to create their own account and become part of my business or website. So that I won't just be having this lower part filled with so many things, filled with names, filled with menu. You understand? So we can distribute some up, distribute, making it a very neat menu. Now, what we have here, you look at it. So for now, we are not going to be working on the header because the header we are going to work on it from another angle. So now we know we are already at the home page. So one of the things we need to do is that we need to develop this home page. So now we have a banner. Are you guessing that we have a banner? So I've downloaded some images that I'll be using. I'll be dropping the link so you can download that image. So if you want, in case you want to follow along, please just download the image right there. Or you can sort for your own image as well. So now what you just need to do here is this particular side of the screen where I'm rotating this cursor is our tool. These are the tools we need to use. I showed you a HTML code in the last section, if I'm not mistaken, and you notice that it was all written with code. Now, one of these stuff is that this Elementor was built with the template of what? With the coding template. In coding, when you are writing, when you want to write the header of once you want to write the bold text, just like in newspaper, you always see the header or those very large writing that you see that talks about the events you want to read in the very little details, bulky details written with small handwriting or little handwriting. You see that very big header. You get it? So in code, in HTML, it's called, we have header 1, header 2, header 3, header 4 to header 6. Now in WordPress, you don't need to start writing header 1, header 2, header 3. You just come to the header tag. Are you getting that? The header 2. What you need to do is that you drag it in and voila. So you see. So here you can now change it. Now you just HTML tag. You can now change it to header 1. If you change to header 1, it becomes bigger. If you change to header 2, it becomes smaller. To header 3, it becomes smaller. So depending on the kind of header you want to use, you get it. So if you want the header to be very, very big, because whenever you're writing the main topic of a thing, you need to make the header very big. And it must be moderate. So to some extent, you must open your heart to moderation in your development. So now let's cancel this, just giving a little example. So now this particular tab here is having a plus and is having this add template. I showed you templates. If you want to add a particular section of another template that have been built, like I showed you a website that have been built already. Maybe you like the home page of that website. You can just tap add the templates. So what it's going to do is that Elementor has free templates, thousands of them. Some you need to pay, some you don't need to pay. So what you just need to do is that you just click push. Just tap it and it's going to insert it straight into that website. So now let me just look for something. I think I like this one. Let me tap it. So you see we already have logo and all these things here. So now once I insert this, look how it's going to happen. Connect to template library. It's telling me to log in. I will have to cancel this for now because I don't want to take us to that state where we might not want to start developing from scratch. So please, I believe the explanation says what it's going to do. So when you sign up with them, you are going to import that whole page into this thing, into this place here. So you just need to change the image and the logo. But I don't want to take you through that sincerely. And one of the reasons is because I believe in trying to master a thing before you start learning shortcuts. Okay, so now when you tap this plus button, it gives you this section, meaning that the meaning of all this thing is just trying to say, do you want this section to be just one bar? Can you see? just one bar, meaning that you can just add just one thing inside. Just one thing inside. Like now, you can add your text inside. But if you want to add another thing inside, let's assume you want to add another thing inside the same thing. Instead of it, but let me assume that okay, you want to add this header, you want to add it there, you want it to be at the end point of this particular um tab here. It won't work. Once you drop it, it will align itself to this place, except if you come here to adjust it. But they won't be in the same level. Are you getting that? They won't be in the same level. But if you want to be here, perhaps maybe you want to add a text and an image here. Now let's go to the Apple website again. You will notice that they have this image and this text here, and they have this image and this text here. The reason is because they didn't use one tab. Here we are using one tab, so it's not going to be possible. But if you now notice this part here, they just have just one very large tab with image and with picture. And the reason is because it was just one tab. Are you getting that? So when we are building, you understand what I'm trying to say. So now let me cancel this again. But let me add a dual tab. Can you see we have one, we have two. So now let's go to this particular section. I'm going to explain you this section when we begin to build. Don't worry. So now if I'm going to add a text, you see it's going to fill just this tab here. I can centralize it. Can you see? That's alignment. Come to alignment, you centralize it. You can make it to be this part. Maybe if you are designing from an Arabic country, you know Arab, you write from right to left. Yes. So you want to also just align it in the kind of way it will just be stretched all through. So this one is called justified. So you can use it. Perhaps maybe you have a text, a write-up, or maybe more than 100 pages, more than 100 words. When you use this particular stuff, what it does is that it will stretch them and make them equal in alignment side by side. But let's just centralize it. Now let's bring in another text again and add it here. So you see we are having 1 year, 1 year. Similar to having 1 year, 1 year. Are you getting that? So I think to some extent we are becoming clear. I believe so. So we can also add an image. Now this is the image tab. So you can just pick in the image, just add it under. Are you getting that? Good. You can also add another image. You can also come to the toolbar, pick on that image, then add it to this one. Once you see this blue line, it means you can just release it. So now what you need to do is, by the way, I didn't say that earlier, I was just dragging and dropping. Oh, I apologize for that. Now you just need to once you see this particular sign, what you do is that you okay, so now let's just centralize this text. So if you want to centralize the text, one of the things you just need to do is that you just tap that section, tap it will bring you here. So you just centralize it. Now you see it is similar to what we have here, wordings and image, wordings and image. I know it's not really looking like that. Don't worry. We are still embarking on the journey. So with that being said, you can also decide to have multiple tabs like that. So let me cancel this. Now before we go into the section, continue the section, you might also decide that okay, inside this two tabs, I want to have inner section. Maybe I want to have two buttons. Let me assume two buttons. So what you just need to do is that inside this section you want to have two buttons. So you just drag this and drop it. If it is down, you want to put it, no problem. Once it's up, you can drop it here. But I don't want it to be there, I want it to be down. So you can just bring it, drop it down. Are you getting that? So you want to add two buttons. What you just need to do is that you come to this place, button, type buttons. So now there is button. Whenever you see this padlock, it means that these ones are locked. You have to pay to get them. But don't worry, we can always get a way around it. That's not a problem. In WordPress, you can manipulate anything. So I've added one button. I want to add another button. So add another button. Good. So now let's just tap this one so we can centralize it. Centralize this button. Tap this one too. Centralize this button. Can you see? So what you just need to do is that you just need to add a link to this button. So let's just do something funny. Let's see if it's gonna work. Let's just type let me get the link of google.com. Okay. So I just want to copy this link to see if our button is truly working. Control C. Let's come back to where we are working. Now put the link in here. Control V. So now update it. Good. I think this was when we added. Okay, this was when we added link. So let's. Okay, before we tap it, we need to just do one or two settings so it won't kick us out. Settings. Now, the reason for the setting is this because once I tap this button, it's going to take us out of this dashboard, and I don't want to do that. So what you just need to do is that you just tap open a new window. So when you tap that button, what will happen is that it's going to open another tab and open that particular link. So now let's tap it. Okay, so we've updated. Okay, so as at now we still have, okay, we are still in development mode. Okay, so the reason from here it won't work, it will only take you here. Pardon me for that. So what you just need to do, since we've updated, we've already opened this guy here. So let's refresh. But something will happen, it won't show us what we have developed. Good. Now the reason why we are not seeing what we have developed is because we have not made this home page our official home page, and we are going to do that right now. So what you just need to do is that you just need to go to your, let's go to our customize tab. Customize. Good. So we'll go to our customize tab. Good. So this is also another section of the working. So then we'll go to home page settings. Now we have your latest post. We don't want that to be our home page. So just tap a static page. Can you get that? So what you need to first do is that you go to customize. I'm going to explain that in details. You go to customize, then you go to static, you go to home page settings. So the reason why we are having this is because it was in your latest post. So that's why we are having this audio mark, whatever we did. So that when you tap a static page, meaning that a static page just saying that the page you intentionally created. So now we are going to select that. You get. So now you come to the home page, tap home. That was the page you created. The page you created was titled home. So now tap home, then publish. Good. So now one of the things you notice here, for now you can't do anything here. So let's try to open the website again from another tab, shedimultipurpose.com. Very fast. Now you see what we've created here. So that's the beauty about WordPress. As you are developing, you are seeing your progress immediately. So I'm going to drag it to this place. So it will be our test. So this is what we have. Now let's try the link we've created. Can you see it opened Google? Now instead of it to log us out of this page and open Google on this particular tab here, what did it do? That setting we did, like open a new tab. What did it was open a new window. So was to tap it, it means our button is working. It's going to open another tab so that we won't be logged out of our own website. And if our user is using it and we are connecting a third-party website into our website, are you getting that? It will be logging our website away. But once it's logging your website away, it's always difficult for the user to come back to your website. But once it opens another tab for the website, for that particular website or link you create, you join to your website is still saved somewhere. So the person can always navigate back, just like you. I'm going to just navigate back into this website. So I don't need to be pressing the back link. So it means our button is working. So can you see how interesting it is to use WordPress? Now you like just one or two things. My link, I could generate link and I could do one or two things. Now let's inspect this our page now to see if any code have been generated. Now can you see codes have been generated? These are the codes. Can you see it's highlighting? So when you come closer, it's highlighting. Can you see it's highlighting? Now these are the code. The image, this image you are seeing here is what is being reviewed here. The details of that image what is being reviewed here. That's a render size of 592 pixels. So if we move higher again, let's try to search for the Google link we placed. Let's try to search for the Google link we added to the button. Okay, still searching through. So these are codes that have been written already by the little development we did. Now imagine we are writing this code by ourselves. Seriously, it could be very, very frustrating and time consuming. So I'm trying to search out the Google link we added. Okay, let me search Google. Okay, google.com. So I think this is it. So this is the link we added, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Elementor button link. So this is the link we added here. So it means that the link is also been added into the code. So that's what I've been trying to emphasize in the earlier course, that we just don't need to stress ourselves for what have been made easy for us. So I believe with this little introduction, to some extent, you understand one or two things about the tools. There are a lot of tools to use here, but we don't start going through them because we want to be working and be learning those tools as well. So now let's cancel this. This is not where we are going to. Now, the first thing we have here is that we have a banner, a very large banner. Good. So what we are going to do is, what we need to do now is that we just need to add a section. Now, since what we have here is just a banner, so what you need to do is you just add just this one section, tap it. So now come to your style, go to your style. Your style is where you edit that particular section and give it what the look it needs to have. So now we want to add, for here we have the banner is resting on the background, and what is happening here is that it is filling this edge to this edge, and that's what we want to achieve, and that's one of the reasons why we are working with the background itself. So now, background type, which type of background do we want? We want the image type of background. So if you come to classic is where you can add image to your background. When you come to gradient, it's where you can add multiple colors to your background. When you tap it, you see what's going to give. It's going to add multiple color to your background. When you tap video, it means you can add video to your background. Now watch this. Let's go to the music part of this website. You see it's moving. So this is video. So don't worry, we are going to be addressing that very soon. Okay, so now what we just need to do, we can add a slide. But for Apple is not having a slide, it's just an image. So we are working with their template. So let's just go to classic, then choose an image. So now I've already installed some images. Like I said, I'm going to drop the link so you can download that image. And the image you're having there first is an image with a white background. So what we're going to do is this: I couldn't find this exact image, so that's why I had to get the one I could see that has iPhones on them. So you will tap it just like I just did. Tap it until it shows you this check mark. This check mark, then insert. Insert. So update. Okay, now that I've inserted that, you notice that to some extent some things are not showing, right? Now just come to the advanced so we can increase the padding, the margins and the padding. So now if I leave this checked, once I add 100 to this thing, 100 to this thing, now you see it adjusted downward. So margin is to expand the space between one layer and the other layer. Are you getting that? But we are not going to increase the margin. So if I uncheck this, I will have to 100, and I also have to add 100 here. Can you see? So it's just expanding the distance between two sections. But now when I come to padding, you see this place is thick. Once I increase to 100, this one also increases to 100. 100. Can you see? They all increase to 100. But I don't want that. I only want the top side and the bottom side to increase to 100. So now you see the phone is now showing. And the reason why it was not showing before was because the padding of the background have not been fixed. So we are going to fix the padding of the background. So since I don't want the left side to be increasing simultaneously with the top and the bottom side, I will have to uncheck this. So uncheck it. So now I have to increase the top side, which is the padding from this particular spot here. Moving up, I'm going to increase it by 100. Okay, let me increase it by 250. 250. Then I'm going to increase the bottom also by 250. Good. So now when we scroll down, this is what we have. Oh, this is just too big. This is just too big. Okay, I wrote 2,500. No. So we just want 250. So this is, I think, to some extent, this is not really big. So let me make the lower part 350. So you need to also watch the design. So now we have a banner of this kind of size already. Good. So now what we just need to do, you see the image has zoomed in somehow. The image has zoomed in somehow. So there is no problem. We are going to fix it. So just update, then go back to style. So when you go back to style, you are going to see position. So tap. So just tap. We want the images to be centered. So now we can have center left, meaning that it will be at the center but the left side. It will be pointing towards the left side. It can be at the center and it will be pointing at the right side. That is center right. It could be at the center. Let me show you something. Can you see? It's at the center but it's moving left to some extent. It looks as if it moved up, right? Don't worry. Center top. Can you see what just happened? But now we don't want to. We want to make it just. We want to make the focal point, the midpoint, to be in the middle. So we have to pick center. So now that's what we have. Now the attachment for this, you notice that when we scroll, it scrolls away too, right? We are going to do that. But I'm going to show you something. I'm going to make this one fixed. Now, if you add it, if you make it scroll, what's going to happen to it is that it's going to scroll to with the screen. As the screen is scrolling, it's going to scroll together with it. But when we make it fixed, it's going to give us a parallax effect. So, can you see the screen is scrolling inside and on it? Can you get it scrolling on it? Compared to this, is scrolling with the screen. I think I need to update this so we test it with the live one we have already. So let's refresh this. Good. So now, if you notice, though it's still zoomed, it's like this. This is how it looks like. It's scrolling with the page. But now, when we make it fixed, it's to look as if it is pinned to the background. Good. So let's see what we have now. So it's going to give us a parallax effect. Can you see? It's as if the page is moving on it. It's pinned, so it's moving on it. So, but we want to do what Apple did, so we are just going to leave it as scroll. So it will scroll with the page. Now, repeat, we don't want it to, for now, we don't want, let's leave it as default. It's always good at default. Now, the size. So the size, this is where we can make it look like this. We've made it centered, but you notice that these ones are not zoomed. Even the image I placed here was not zoomed in. But because we've not done this particular size set, so what we need to do is that just, if you put it to auto, it might not even make any change because that might be the default. If you put it to contain, this is what we see. Are you getting that? If you put it to cover, this is what we see. Put it to custom, so you really want to choose the size you want, and you see you can make it millions of iPhones. So this is a weird, very weird background. So I don't want to make it custom, so I just make it contain. So I think this is good. So now let's see what we have. Voila. So we have one iPhone here. So, but that's not what we are not having images popping to this at this angle. So let's readjust the setting. So let's make it cover. So it's in between contain and cover. So just update your settings. Now this is what we have. So it's just scrolling to and fro. So though this image is still very big, and the reason is because of the kind of image I used, but we can always make the white part show by coming to this path and making this also 350. So we have 350 to the base, 350 to the top. So we have this very good outlook there. So let's refresh this. Okay, we still have a very large screen. And the main reason why we're having this large screen is because the images are, the phones are so large on the background that they're filling up everything. So let's just make it 400. So that's one of the things you need to do to get that particular, to get the results you want. So I believe by now it should be better if we'll be seeing the white background. Okay, so we have white on top, white below. So now we already have that background. So now one of the things we need to do now is that we need to add this text to it. So you see, we are not having this free white background on top like the way Apple is having theirs because of the kind of image I use. But nevertheless, we can always change the image. So what we just need to do is this. So now that we already have this, we are going to add, look at, this is a large writing. So we are going to use the header tag, like I explained earlier. So bring in the header tag. So this is H2, we are going to centralize, make it H1. So we are going to centralize it. Don't forget we are working with white. So let's make the size extra large. It's too big. Let's make it, okay, we made it extra large. Let's just make it extra large. So I think this is okay. Now I try to check the font that iPhone is using online. The font is the handwriting. So I think, where is that? Should be here. Okay, so this is, say, what is the name of Apple's font? Now they said the name of Apple's font is Helvetica Neue. So I'm going to search that font if we have it on WordPress. If we don't have it, it's a font we can download. But some fonts like that, they want to sell it. But if we can't find that particular font, we are going to improvise. So let's change the text we have here, because we have iPhone for this writing. So now we are going to change it. And how to change it, you can either decide to change it from here, tap it clean, or you can decide to change it from here. You see it has cleaned that stuff. So the I is a small letter I, then the P is capital letter HONE. iPhone what? iPhone 12. So iPhone 12. So that's what we have. Now body color is blue and the font is, I don't know. So let's check. So you come to style. So this is where you change the color. Let's make the color white. Now you see color as code. So this is the code for this color, #6EC1E4. So what you just need to do is that you drag it to the end point until you get white. So now this is the color code for white, #FFF into 6 places. So we've already succeeded in changing this to what? To white. So now that's done. Now the next thing we now need to do is this, is that we need to change the font. Now how to change the font? We change the text color. Now you check the typography. The typography is where the font is and the size of the write-up. So now you tap that pen tool there. So now we are using Roboto. Roboto is the default font for WordPress. So but we are looking for Elica. What's the name again? Helvetica. Okay, I've never used that font before in my life. Helvetica. Wow. So we have Helvetica here. Helvetica Neu. So that's the iPhone font. Helvetica. So you see WordPress, I just love this system. They are updated. They are so updated. So we have Helvetica here. So that's the iPhone font for now. So what we just need to do is that we just need to update that. So we already have the iPhone font, Helvetica Neu. So what we have there is Helvetica, but I think theirs is Helvetica Neu for Mac. Then with the introduction of OS 10, just met in June, Apple started using Helvetica Neu as the system font on Mac. This brought all the Apple's Surface interface in line using Helvetica Neu throughout. Okay, so I think we already have Helvetica going on here. So the next thing we need to do is that we have Blast Past Fast. Blast Past Fast. Then we also have a link here. But what we are going to do is that we won't add a link, we are going to be adding a button to our own. Are you getting that? To make it more classic. This is just a writing, but we are going to be adding a classic button. So now you notice this is just like a normal writing, right? So now this is how to add a normal writing. So now let's go to our tool. Go to text editor. So now bring it here, add it. This is very small. So we are going to wipe off all these write-ups. But I think what they used here was not even a text editor. It was not even a text. They used a smaller header. So let's remove that. Let's inspect it again. So this is more of like a small header. So what we are going to be doing is that we'll be using H3. H3. So but if you want to write text in your website, it's always advisable to use the text editor. Are you getting that? But for this, it is more of like a header. So what we are going to do is that we are going to centralize this. But if you notice that the gap between this and this compared to this and this, okay, it's a moderate gap. It's a moderate gap. It's a moderate one. So what we just need to do is we need to copy this right up. Wow, we can't copy it. Blast Past Fast. So we just come to this place to edit that. Blast Fast. So we change the font and the color again to white. Don't forget the process, white. So So we change the typography to that wonderful, beautiful typography again. A vertical new. So now we already have that running. But to make sense, you notice that it's thin. It is thinner compared to what we have here. This is somehow thick. So what you just need to do is that for you to change you notice it's highlighted blue, meaning that's the section we are working on. So now for us to change the thickness, you just come to this particular typography, go to the weight, tap it down, reduce it to 400. You see it has reduced the thickness. If you make it 100, it can't go beyond that because you won't even see it again. So the machine understands that. When we make it 900, it will become very thick. So we don't want that. Please, let's just stick to, let's see 500. I think 500 is better off. So what's the style? We don't want to make it italic, oblique. No, we don't want that. So we are okay with the defaults. Now the next thing we need to check here is, so I said earlier we are going to be adding a button. Now if you notice something, I wasn't adding any other section. The reason is because everything we have here is just in a section. And that's this whole section, this large section here. So what we just need to do is that we need to add a button. So you just come to the tool. So now we are going to be adding a button to this section. So it's really going to be a touch button. I don't want, like I said earlier, I don't want to add text, so I want to make it a button. I want to add a button there. So what you just need to do is that you type button. When you type button, you drag it in. Make sure it shows blue. So when you drag it in, now we just need to centralize it so that it will be in tune with this. Now when you centralize that, one of the things you need to do, for me, I'm going to change the color. So just tap the button. Like now, the style in WordPress act like this normal CSS. That's where it behaves. So tap the style. You're going to make the color like that of the Amazon, that of the Apple header, not black, not really gray. So just like dark gray. That's what let me call it dark gray. So now one thing I need to do is that I don't want to uncheck this so that the action I'm going to be performing now will be happening all over. So let's just watch what's going to happen here. So if you notice, the edges of this stuff is becoming rounded. So let me just make it 15. 15. Good. So now come back to the color. Now you know we already have this particular color. So I want to reduce the opacity. Of this color. Good. Let's leave it like this. So now this is the button we are having. But not just that, that's not all. So I want to give it I would like to give it a solid border. Okay, so border type, I want to give it a solid border. So let me make it a solid border. And I want the border color to be, so I want the border width to be large. So let's increase that. No, let's just make it 1. And it should be white. Good. I think that's okay. Let's make it 0.5. 0.5. So it won't be too large. I think that's okay. So now the over. The meaning of over is for now. Okay, when I come close to this website, you notice that it brings up a line. So that is the over effect. But our button, want to give our button the over effect. So what we just need to do is this: you just come to the over. When I want the over, the text color when it is hovering to be I want it to be, okay, let's leave it to still be white. Then the color of the button, let's make the color of the button blue. Let's make it blue. Let's just make the color of the button blue. Okay, so I'm going to reduce. So now you see when I come closer to it, it becomes blue. So I want to reduce the opacity so it looks classic. You get it? So when we come close to it, you see it becomes a kind of glassy blue. So now that we've been able to change that. And I can also change the text color so that when it goes like that, so that's kind of gray black whatever, so you see it becomes black, right? It's not really visible. Like I told you earlier, when you're using a dark color, you don't make it. Can you see the color changes? If you notice the um text in the button is not white, it's taking up this color shape. So I just want it to be white, so let's leave it like that. So we are having this black kind of over effect. So that's it for that. So now the text shadow, the typography of the button. So we want to make sure that we are using one particular font for everything. Elvica. So we have that for now. So now let's update and see what we have. So this is what we have for our banner. Classic, right? Tushi. Okay, so to some extent we already have a front banner for iPhone 12. Front banner for iPhone 12. So we'll be fixing the next words, the next banner. So, and that's what we'll be doing right here. So the next banner will not be as thick as what we have here. So we'll be using a black background. So to some extent, I believe you are smiling already. That yes, we're already doing something. Now that we have a fully customized banner, in similitude to what we have in the Apple website, which is what we have here. So now let's now design this particular part, stretching from this end to this end. Okay, so I've also gotten an image for that. So what we just need to do is just the same step but a little adjustment to fit in. So what we are going to do is that we are going to tap that, then just one column, because we just have just one column there. And what we are going to do is this: we are going to go to the style. So for the background, we just add classic, we add an image. So when we choose the image, we are going to choose this one. So insert. Now we are going to expand this by, so the last time I told you that the margin is to give it space. Like now, if you see this section is joining to this particular section, but now once I'm going to give it a margin. So I'll give it a margin of 20. Can you see? So that's 200. 20 at the top, 20 at the bottom. Now you see the space between them. Can you see the space between them? Good. So that is the margin. That's the margin we just gave. So margin is space between one section and the other section, but padding is the space, an internal space within that section and the edge of that section. So this is the edge of this particular section we have here. Okay, so let's give it let's link them. So we are going to increase it top by bottom by 300 for top, 300 for bottom. So now let's see the size we have here. Yeah, I think that's good enough. So now we'll go to style. Since we've done the padding, we'll go to style. The positioning will make it centered. The attachment to make it scroll. Then let's leave the size. Now the best thing to do here is to make it cover. Now when we make it, I'm going to show you. Okay, let's make it contain. Good. You see, just watch what happens. So we are going to refresh this. And you see it's giving us 3 different images with white spaces in between. But that is not what we have here. To some extent, I know somebody will say, this is enough and this is okay. That's really very, very good. We can also design yours like that. It's not a problem, but we are trying to replicate the UI UX of Apple. And the main reason why I want us to replicate the UI UX of Apple is because I just want to drive at the point that you can design any professional website with WordPress once you have the resources. Now you see this white space between this black banner and this particular banner, which is the top banner. So there's a white space there in between them. And that is your words. That is your margin between this banner and this banner. Coming down, you see the white space cutting them separate. They are not joining, so that's the margin. And that's what we did to separate this section and this section. Can you see that space in between them? So you can decide to make yours any number you want, but I would really appreciate if you can follow along. So for mastery, for quick mastery, so that you don't get lost somewhere. Now, so we just make this cover. So we'll make it cover, we update it. And let's see what we have. So let's just refresh this. Okay, it's getting to this place, to this side, but it has not stretched enough. So one of the things we need to do again is we go to, so we stretch section, then we make this content width full width. Let's update and see what we have. Okay, for now it's still not stretching. I want to fix that, don't worry. Can I make it also? Okay. So I think it has stretched to what I wanted to do. So now I just made it auto. Okay, it has stretched. So that is one of the stuff about this. So you see, the setting I used for this one was different from the setting I used for this one. And the only reason why was because this one was having a white background, so it's easy for it to blend to the white background we have as our page, as our main page background. So this image has a white background, so it's resting on the white background, so you won't know that there's a difference there. And nevertheless, we try to get a zoom out effect, not a zoom in effect, so that we can see all the phones. And that was what we did here. But here, we want the banner the main purpose is to make the banner stretch out. And that was why we use the auto. So the auto just made it stretch out with the little settings we did. And these were the settings we did. Content width, full width, and stretch section. See? Stretch the section to the full width of the page using JS, using JavaScript. So you can learn about that. Perhaps you might be instructed or directed to use JavaScript. But since we already have this button ticked, it is settled. So now we already have a replica of a stretch page here. So what we just need to do is we just need to repeat what we have. Okay, yeah, we just need to repeat what we have. Yeah. Now, there's a very simple way to do that. This is what you do. Let's go back. Since it is the same thing, what you just need to do is tap your section, duplicate it. So we have a section duplicated. So we are scrolling down. Okay. So now we've sent that here. You see, we already have this one. So what we did is we duplicated and we dragged it down here. So what you just need to do now is that you just delete this one. Just delete it. And we have a stretch here also. So instead of you going to get the header tag, dragging it and dropping it, you understand that kind of stress. So we are trying to avoid that kind of stress. So we have a replica here. It's similitude to what these guys they have here now. It's a leap year, and this one says it's a leap blast fast. This is iPhone 12. This is iPhone 12 Pro. So we are just going to change the wordings. So now just tap it, then Pro. So that's what to do. So this one says it's a leap year. The settings are already there. So just type what you need to type. It's a leap year. That's very summer. So it's a leap year. So we can just do a little customization on our button. So we don't want this to be blue anymore. Let's make it white. So you go to your style. Your style is where you do your designing. So now the over, you come to the over because when you over, if you see blue there. So what we just need to do is that we just make it white. Don't worry, stretch it to this extreme. Can you see it's white? But what we are going to do now is that we are going to make it white. Then let's make the text, because its text are more visible when it's on a. If the text is dark, it should be on the light background, and if the background is dark, the text should be what? Light. So let's just increase the opacity of this thing. When we increase the opacity, it becomes lighter. Are you getting that? So that glassy effect will reduce when we increase the opacity. And you see there's no glassy effect again. Now the text has disappeared because it is equal color code with the writing. So they are both white. So let's just decrease the little to have that glassy effect. Now let's come to the text color. We want to make it black, but not really black. So let's see what's going to happen. Can you see? So it's not white anymore. So it's giving us this unique effect. Don't worry. For the Apple sites, they don't have unique animations. We are going to add animations to our work to make it very interesting. So I think to some extent we are good with this banner. So now let's continue to the third part. Now the third part they have here is this. Okay, so now they have iPad Pro. Now I'm going to show you a shortcut of what to do. So what you just need to do is this. Instead of designing this stuff and rewriting those settings again, just come to this these 6 dots here, then right click your mouse, then duplicate section. So it's going to push one section down. Now scroll down. This is what we have. You duplicated the section instead of you designing it again. So it's just to make your life easy and make work easy for you. So now tap this. When you tap it, just edit. Now you need to edit the section. Go to that 16 page, right? That 6 dot, right click, then edit section. So it will take you to this place. Then now come to the style. So now we have the image. So now choose image to change your image. So what we have here is the iPod. So I think I got the same exact image. Now, one of the things I also want you to understand is that when you are downloading your images, one of the things you need to take note of is your resolution. You see, the resolution of this is 1200 by 630 pixels. Good. So now I also want to open up to you, because we've been designing this and I've not given you details of how to get quality pictures. I'm going to do that right now. And I apologize for taking it to this time from opening this. But one of my reason is I want you to develop to some extent, because I know there are some people that I believe, like myself, I always like to see results. When I see results, I become happy to continue. So I know to some extent you're already happy to continue, because now we are still working with the home page, we are still going to 5-page and e-commerce and the others, which I know you really want to learn. So now how to get quality images and logos. Now I'm going to address that very soon, and even right now. Now what I did is that I went to Google. So I went to Google and I searched iPhone. I'm just doing a random search now. High resolution. So when you tap high resolution wallpaper, so one of the stuff it brings is this images. So you don't need these images. What you just need to do, you come to images. That's how to get images from Google. So what they are showing me here it's not related to iPhone. But let's just, okay, this is beautiful. So let's click this. Now I want you to see something. So it's going to display an information here. Now can you see that information down there? That writing underneath the picture. That's this one. So we have 1125 times 2436. That is your pixels. So this is the width and the height of this picture. So when you bring it into your web banner, because the web banner might be occupying your web banner, this is a web banner. Okay, let me use Apple website. From this side to this side is the width of this banner. Then from this top here to this base here is the height of this banner. So when you bring in an image with a pixel, now let me check another picture. Let me just check images, random images. So now let me just, okay, I'm going to tap this. Now look at this pixel. You see it's having 602 and 499. I'm going to download this picture so you're going to see what I'm saying. So save as, let me just save it as something as practice demo. Good. So now what I want to show you is the difference between the resolution when you're using it for websites. Now this image is having this particular resolution. You need a resolution that is around this range, 1000 1125 or 1400 1300 upward, and a height of around 720 upward. This is even very, very high. So you need a height of around 720 upward. And the reason why you need a height like this is so that when you import it into your website, it will not be giving you a kind of blurrish kind of image. Are you getting that? So now let's come to the Elementor now. This is the image I've selected. Can you see the width? That's 1200 times, which is also the meaning of by 630 pixels. So the width is 1200 and the pixel is what? 630. Now let's check the first one I use for the banner. Can you see how large the resolution is? Now if I use something less than this quality I've seen here, less than this, I'll begin to have a blurrish kind of image. Now this is also an image I downloaded. Can you see the resolution? Very high. This one is very, very small. Now if I use this and this one, let me drag this into this. So that's how to import images. So when you download it, you drag it in. Where is it? Okay, I know I just dragged in something. It said post-processing of the image field likely. Okay, so let me cancel this and choose the image again. Practice demo. Okay, I think the image has issue. No problem, since I have something that is of low quality here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this. I'm going to insert this to that large banner we want to get. So I'm going to center it, then I will contain it. Contain. Now can you see it is not as neat? It is, you can see some kind of wavy kind of line and structure. It is not too neat in the eyes. Let me update this. So that is what we are trying to avoid. You see this one is very smooth. The resolution is high. The pixels are neat. You can't really see scattered pixels around it. So I'm going to refresh this so we can see what I'm saying. Okay, so can you see even the writing? You will know, oh, this is not. I believe you understand what I'm trying to say. It's not as smooth and neat as what we are meant to have here. This is neat compared to this one. Are you getting that? So the pixels are already showing. The meaning of pixels means picture cells. Are you getting that? And that is why I look for images with high resolution. So if you want to get image of high resolution from Google, one of the things you do is that if it's Apple, just make sure you type high resolution. It's not necessarily you add wallpaper to it. Just high resolution. It's going to give you something wonderful. Are you getting that? So this was the image I used for the banner. Now if I tap this, let me see what I'm going to get. What's the resolution of this one? This one resolution is also small. So when I use it, it will become blurry. Let me try this. Okay, the resolution of this one is very, very high. So I can use this one. So this is what you check. If it is more than 1500 or more than, if it's up to 1000, more than 1200 by 720, then it's good to go. So this one is very, very good to go. So that's it for resolution. So now there are places you can get free image of natural high resolution. Not that you begin to search. Once you get there, you automatically get high resolution images, and that is my favorite, Unsplash. That is where I get majority of the pictures I use for my websites. And when you check them, they are very heavy images. Let me just check Apple. Let me search Apple. Okay, so they brought the pictures of Apple to me. Can you see how neat their pictures are? So if I'm going to download this picture, their pictures are always very large. If you see the one of Google I downloaded, let's come to Elementor. We are going to change the speed image because I don't even want it there. Now for this, look at it, just 146 kilobytes. Now I also want you to understand that when you are putting an image into your website, make sure it is not more than 300 to 400 kilobytes. Once it is up to 500 kilobytes, it tends to slow down the speed of your website. I want you to get that. Seriously, very few developers will tell you this, but these are very core secrets that we learned by experience and also from core teachers. So reduce the image. Make sure you reduce, if the image you are downloading is around 4 megabytes or 5 megabytes, maybe you are trying to build a website for a celebrity or whoever, and the person went to the studio to take a photo shoot. Obviously, the kind of image you'll be getting from there, the soft copy of those images will be above 1 megabyte, and that's too much for your website. Your home page should not be up to, the whole of your home page should not be up to 1 megabyte. The whole of all the designs you are going to do in your home page, like the Apple website, from head to toe, when you are going to check it, when it comes to space, must not be up to 1 megabyte or even 2 megabytes. And that makes it easy for that affect the speed of your website. Are you getting that? So that really affects the speed of your website. But if your website is almost 5 megabytes, one, your users will be suffering from your site because your site will be eating up their data seriously. And that is why we notice that when we enter into some sites, our data finishes in time. The reason is because the page you entered in that website is too heavy. So for you to make your website very fast and data saving for your users, you must reduce the image size but retain the image quality. And I'm going to teach you how to do that right now. And another thing again you also need to understand is that when you, okay, let me show you how to do that. So like for example, Unsplash, their images are always more than, if you get an image that is 1 megabyte, is rare. I don't know, let's check this. Now you see the image we have here is 2.8 megabytes. The internet I'm using is very fast, so that's why it loaded it very fast. So now what I need to do is I can't just drop this load into my website. It will slow it down and it will even affect my work, because whenever I try to refresh it, you see how many times I've been refreshing this particular web page. I'm refreshing because I know I'm using very little size pictures. But if I'm using Unsplash pictures, I'm endangering my data. You understand? So that's one thing we need to put in mind. So what I just need to do is that there's a particular platform I use online, very wonderful platform. They will reduce the size of the image and as well retain the quality. So it is called, so now let's come to reduce image. Yes, this is the platform. So I gave it image reducer, but the name officially is reduce images. So now just let's drop our image. If you are not using Google Chrome, you just need to select, then search for where the image is. For me, the image is in downloads and it will be in my recent downloads. Okay, so this is it. Then you just open. So now we have the image to be 2.84 megabytes. Don't forget the name, image reduceimages.com. So I'm used to the name I gave to them myself. So now just make it 50. Just make it 50. So we want to reduce the percentage by 50. It was 70 before, so you just make it 50. You can decide to make it 30. The more you reduce the percentage, the more the size reduces. But note something, the quality is still 90%. So now just resize it. Should be resizing by now. So it's resizing. I so much love this platform. I've been using them for up to how many months now? Okay, so it's reduced it to 1.08 megabyte. That's still large. So let's just reduce it to 30. Let's resize it to 30. The image quality will still be there, but the size will surely reduce. Good. So now we already have 354.6 kilobytes. So I'm going to download this and I'm going to display it on my screen. Okay, so while that one is getting ready, so I believe you have already gotten a resource and how to reduce your image. That's very wonderful. So the next one I'll be teaching you is how to design free logos and how to get icons, free icons for your website. But that will not be now. We are going to be doing that later on. Okay, so I believe this is showing now. Can you see it still retains the same quality but at a size of 350 something kilobytes. So that is how to get good quality images and as well resize your image and retain the quality. So please, I want you to have those things, those details in mind. Now let's go back to the construction. So this is the image we want to insert. We insert that image into it. So can you see the quality of that image? So what we just need to do is that we need to retain that quality we were using before. So we use ortho. So update it and let's see what we have here. So just refresh. Good. So now you see it is filling up every space. No space is missing. It's filling up every space from toe to fro. And you see that it's giving that same 20 margin we give. And the main reason why it was because we duplicated this top one. So the setting we've done for this top one is what it will be carrying all through. And that is why it's always good when you are designing with the UI UX that has the same pattern all through. So let's just change. Let's go back to Elementor where we are doing our miracle, not magic. So now we have iPad Pro, and I wish I could just copy this. They've locked the site up. So let's just change this to iPad Pro. So you can edit it from here. iPad Pro. Then supercharged by Apple M1 chip. So this M1 Pro, I think. Just spelled something else there. That's I. No, that's one. M1 Pro, I think. Okay, M1 chip. Oh, sorry for that. By the M1 chip. Okay, so that's it for this particular section. So we are done because that's what they have here. So let's just quickly do the next section. But to some extent, they are having theirs on top and ours is in the middle. The reason why ours is in the middle is because they have enough writing space up here, but we don't have enough writing space up here. See what we have here. So if we are going to put it, we're clashing with the images. So it's better we put it in the center of the images. Or the image rather. We just have one now. One image here. So now what's the next thing we need to do? So now we will now notice that here we have two sections. Section 1, section 2. That's very good. But these two sections are on white backgrounds. But we won't be okay, let's just go into it. So what we just need to do here is we add a section. So now you see the section is still maintaining that margin. And the reason is because this is how was the setting we placed on it. But when we add on that section again, you see that they will be joined together. And you see they are joined together because we've not done the setting of this one to have a bottom margin of 20. So we are going to do that. So let's cancel this. Since we have two sections there, we have an image, and as well, okay, so what I need to do here is that I'm going to duplicate this again. So just duplicate. Good. So what we just need to do is just drag this down, come to this part, drag it down. Okay, just drop that. So we created the third section for it, no problem. So I'm going to delete this section. Then I'm going to add an image to this section. Now the reason why we are not seeing anything is because what we have here are on white, but here they've changed the color to this particular color. So we are going to change the color also, so we can see what we are doing. So just notice that you will see those lines. Tap it, come to style. So we are going to change the color to the kind of apple color. Can you see it's now becoming visible? Something like this. So we copy that code, Control, highlight it, and then Control C. Search for the other one, tap it. So you go to the style, then text color, then you see it's already highlighted, so Control V. So we have the iPad Pro. But now you notice something that's okay. So what they have here is iMac, then say hello, then the link we have. But don't forget we are using button for our own. iMac, then say hello. Say hello. So what we need to do now is we need to duplicate this section. Good. So since we've duplicated this section, what we just need to do is we delete this section. So we have two sections here. Good. And the images we have there, this is the image we have and this is the image we have. So what we just need to do is the normal setting we'll be doing for the images, we just change the images. So we have iMac here. So this is what I have for the iMac. So let's insert that image. Good. Then here we have, we are not meant to have iMac. So we have the air tag. So let's also change that to air tag. Air tag. Lose your knack for losing things. Okay. I wonder where you get this kind of statement from. Lose your knack for losing things. What do they even write there? How do me? I just okay. Lose your knack for losing things. For losing things. Okay, so I think that's what we have there. So let's just change the image. So what I just did is I double tap this image and it brought me here. I'm going to do that again. You just double tap the image, it's going to bring you here. Choose image. So I have an air tag, but not the same thing what they have there. So let me insert that. Good. Now you now notice that the image we have here is not somehow the same size with this. You see, this is, look at the size this one is having, look at the size this one is also having. So what we just need to do is take this, delete it, Are you getting that? Then this one, duplicate it. So that's one of the ways to get equal ratio of image. So you just drag it into this pot. So this is what we have. So now when we bring in that particular image, it's supposed to conform to that particular size. Okay, it's still out. It's still expanded beyond that size. And the main reason is because they have different aspect ratios. So what we are going to do now is that we are going to take another method of getting that. So image size, we are going to go to custom. So we are going to apply the size. Let's make it a kind of square kind of size. Let's make it 100 by 100. So let's apply that and see what's going to happen here. It's very small. So let's make it 300 by 300. So let's apply that. So when your image are not taking they don't just want to obey your orders, you give them an official one. You understand? So that's how it goes. So I'm making it 350 by 350. Okay, so I'm already getting something equal to that. But what if I make the width, I make this 250 and apply that? So the other laptops are now showing. So that's one of the ways you can do that. So what I just need to do now, I'll just do the same thing to this 350 by 250. So I'll go to custom. So I'm going to make it 350 for the width by 250. Bro, you have to listen to me now. Good. So that's what we got there. So they are the same size. Can you see? So if it was white background, just look exactly like this. So we are just having a hand there. So I think to some extent we are good to go. So meaning that this image ended here and this image also ended where? There. So that is what we have. So now the next thing we are going to see here is that we have the text right up here, the image, and we have the image inverted compared to what we have here. So let's come back to this particular spot. So what we just need to do is that we'll duplicate this to make life easy for ourselves. Okay, so but before we do that, you see this section is resting directly on this section, so we need to add that margin with it. So now come to this particular portion. So the margin, make sure you link it so it won't be giving you a kind of figure you don't, the kind of result you don't want. So we made it 20 from the top. Okay, good. So we already have 20 from the top. So we are also going to make it 20 from the bottom, so that if we are adding any other section again, it will automatically adjust itself to that particular section. So now what we need to do here is this. We have the image for this section up, so there is nothing difficult there. So what you just need to do is, since we have the ability to drag and to drag this up, see that it has adjusted that one down. We are going to change the image, don't forget. I just like this over effect. Okay, so we just need, let's change the names. AirPod Max. So now we're having AirPod Max. AirPod Max. So we don't need this, just delete this, right click and delete. So for this we have iPad, so there were some write-ups there, but this font is different from the font we've been using. It's a stylish font, delightfully capable, surprisingly affordable. Surprisingly, so shift enter. Surprisingly affordable. That's what they said. Yeah, it's affordable because we are not poor. I wish I could just edit this text. Okay, so let's just come to this place and edit it. This is so when you want to edit, just tap the red one, highlight it, then right click, surprisingly affordable. So we just want to make this below this one. Let me see how it looks like from this angle. So I see the font we are using to some extent looks a little bit different. Obviously, it looks different. So, but if you notice something, this guy just don't want to stay in the second line. So I promise we are not going to use any code, but let me just introduce you to one little code. So just add this tag br, then close it. That's the break tag. So in HTML, it's called the break tag. You see, automatically it has adjusted itself down here. So what I just did was that I broke the line between this, ending this statement here, and allowing this to continue here. So that is one of the ways you can break a tag. So just add a dot because they have a dot in theirs. Okay, so I think for what we just need to do now is to change the images. Double tap your image. So we have the airport. Choose image. I believe I have the airport. Okay, yes. So insert that. What we are going to do, okay. So automatically it conformed to this 35 by 250 pixels or ratio we gave to it because this is the mom and we duplicated that here. So what you just need to do is that the next image we put in here also will also be compliant. So we are having an iPad, okay, iPad collection, but I couldn't get that image specifically. So I believe I have something cool for that. Okay, this is what I have. So let's just insert that. So we should be having this. So automatically we've worked on our home page to similarly look like this. Though theirs have a pure white background, but we couldn't get the exact image they were using, and that's why we have all these things here. So to some extent you've built the home page of your website. Okay, I just saw this mistake now. Things. So we've used the home page of our website. So, but one of the things we've not done is that you see, we've not done the header. Are you getting that? And we've not done the footer. You get it. So don't worry, we are going to do the header and the footer. That's not a problem. But I want us to first finish all the pages we are building. That's, I believe, to some extent you are happy with what you're seeing. So let's update this. Please, if you know you are not having a stable battery, it's advisable you update every major change. Please, it's advisable you update every major change. So let's just refresh this. So automatically we are having an Apple website. Oh, it's how wonderful will it feel when you tell your guys, oh, I sell Apple and this and this and this is my website, and they go out and they check it out and they're like, wow. You're not, when it comes to class kind of thing, you're not part of their class again. So for now, we've just gotten the little structure of our home page. But one funny thing about this home page is that this home page is not connected. So if I tap the button, nothing will happen. And the reason is because we've not connected this button to anything. Are you getting that? We've not connected this button to anything. So button helps us to navigate from one place to the other. And how can you do that? So now what I just did is that, okay, let me go out of the button section. So now once I tap this button, what it does is that it takes me to the button editing panel. So what you just do, you go to content, link. Where you see the link is where you're going to add the URL link of your website. Now for now, we are not going to add any link. Using it because we don't have what we are going to link it to. So for now, we built the first page of our website. So now we need to build the second page of our website. Now the second page of our website will be our about us page. Our about page. And we'll be using the support part, the support panel, the support section of Apple to build our templates. But though we won't be adding everything they have here, because realistically, okay, we don't have all these ones. So we'll be adding all these ones to this particular section. So we'll be omitting this particular place. My other fill with something else. That's not a problem. But we are going to build something similar to this. I hope you understand. So stay tuned. We continue in some seconds.